All right, futures under pressure here ahead of Tuesday's open. S&P futures down 0.47%, Dow futures down 0.74%, and the Nasdaq down 0.54%. As mentioned, Cloudflare also having an outage here today. That's down a little bit in the pre-market. Perhaps that's weighing on things as well. Let's take a look at some cues from last session, however. Materials, financials, and energy stocks recorded the biggest losses on Monday, while communication services and utilities bucked the trend to close higher, setting a negative tone for most S&P 500 sectors. And as mentioned, that appears to have carried over to today. U.S. stock futures declined on Tuesday after Monday's sell-off, and futures of the major benchmark indices were lower and holding lower. They actually bounced a little bit this morning and rolled back over to the lows. The market sentiment remained cautious ahead of the post-shutdown economic data and NVIDIA's highly anticipated earnings report on Wednesday. Actually does kind of feel like the market is waiting for those earnings report. We're going to actually cover that a little bit here in a sec. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.1%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.57%. We do have some stocks in focus here for you today. The first one is going to be Axalta Coating Systems. That's ticker AXTA. That jumped 10.68% after inking a deal with AkzoNobel to combine in an all-stock merger of equals. So AXTA, your first stock there. Your second one here comes from healthcare. This is Molina Healthcare, ticker MOH. That gained 3.05% after announcing a proposed offering of $750 million of senior notes due in 2031. And Michael Burry reiterating his long stance on the copy. Avantor, ticker AVTR, that was up 2.6% as CEO Linger Emanuel bought 87,500 shares worth just shy of $1 million on November 17th at $11.35 apiece. Home Depot is the next stock on our list. They reported earnings here this morning. They fell 0.71% as analysts expect it to report earnings of $3.85 per share on revenue of $41.14 billion before the opening bell. Home Depot did report. They reported an EPS of $3.74, which missed that $3.85 estimate. And they recorded sales of $41.35 billion, which beat slightly the estimate of $41.137 billion. Interestingly enough, from that report, they said that they forecasted more sales from hurricane-related things, which never ended up happening. How about that? The last stock on our list here is Helmerich & Payne. That's HP, ticker HP, tumbled 8.22% after reporting a loss of 1 cent per share for the fourth quarter. However, the company's reported quarterly sales of $1.012 billion, which beat the analyst consensus estimate of $973.687 billion.